In that clip, you saw that monster at the end was an entirely new monster created by the game's developers, which will now appear in TV shows in the future. And that thing that was on the guy's shoulder was actually a monster from 1963, because Doctor Who has been going a long time, that they brought back. So there was a lot of creative fun had with the whole universe of Doctor Who. We learnt a lot doing it. We've had nearly 2 million downloads already. We don't know how many people have actually played, but many more than that. Incredibly good brand results for the BBC and BBC One among our younger audiences. And I think everyone was surprised by how well we did manage to mesh the worlds together, because traditionally TV and games and films and games have had a difficult marriage. Our 4th episode launches at Christmas, and we have commissioned a new one for the next season. I want to just talk through 2 more areas. Again, in participation, we have spoken a lot in the BBC about what we call 360-degree commissioning, where you create a program idea that works across all platforms from the moment it is thought of. If I am honest, we have only rarely succeeded in this. Too often, web, mobile, game comes after TV. But this is an example of something where I think we are turning that around. So Lab UK is a platform we've developed which enables the BBC to work with the science community to do what we do best, generate mass audiences who can take part in scientific experiments, fun scientific experiments. Now, Brain Test Britain was the first time a significant survey had ever been done into whether brain training, brain training games, Nintendo DS, etc., whether they work. And so we generated a whole range of games with these scientists, which we then encouraged people to play, and they had to play every day for 6 weeks. And I think we had hundreds of thousands of people try once or twice, but we ended up with a sample of about 15,000 people who played every day for 6 weeks, which was the kind of sample that a scientist could only dream of. So what is the answer? Does brain training work? I'm afraid not. We even had this survey reported in Nature magazine, which is about the most prestigious official confirmation of the credibility of the service. But I should say also, it created a primetime BBC One show where the results were revealed and the whole brain training exercise was examined. And we are extending this platform to a whole range of things. How the UK population manages its money. Personality tests, where you answer certain questions and are told you are like this, like this, like this. We had hundreds of thousands of people do this. And we also, and this will be a very good one in England, in the UK, we're going to test what social class people are, which I can guarantee will make some people very upset. Okay. And then finally, I just want to talk about a bit about social TV. So we have done a number of experiments, particularly in entertainment programming, with enabling audiences to play along in some way with the TV show. Do you have The Apprentice here? No? Okay. So The Apprentice is a fantastic entertainment program where at the end of every episode, one of the candidates is fired, sacked, kicked out. And we created an application on your computer where you could vote and guess who was going to be fired as you were watching the show. And you could see what everyone else was voting, and you could change during it. And so you could see against each character if they were going up or down in popularity. And it was great, actually, to be able to watch the mood of the nation as they did this. And we did something similar with what we call in the UK Strictly Come Dancing, Dancing with the Stars in America. Anyway, again, voting. Okay. Now, the only thing I'll say is I was very proud of both these things. But the audiences were still quite small. 35,000 average for The Apprentice, only 4,000 for Strictly Come Dancing, which is a much older demographic. I'll contrast that with some more simple but effective red button services, interactive TV, that actually happen on the TV set using the remote control, where again we encourage audiences to play along. And in these, we were having over 1 million people taking part during the series. Now, I believe the creative possibilities of connected TVs are astonishing, but and particularly in this kind of entertainment area, enabling an audience to see what other people are doing, to participate, engage more deeply in some way. And so we are experimenting in this area, as I'm sure many others are. What I will say is it needs to be simple. It needs to not get in the way of the TV program. If you remember the picture that the first guy with the book showed, which he said, "I hate this picture. It looks like a prison." You remember that? I didn't like it either, because the person who was sat on his sofa was sat like that. Now, I don't do that when I'm watching telly. I'm like that, in fact. So somehow finding simple, basic interactivity that fits that mood but brings someone more deeply into a show is our challenge, I believe. So I've come to the end. I'll just end by showing that recently I did a search again for Friday Night with Jonathan Ross. And I'm happy to say it was now #1 in Google, as just about every one of our program names is. And when you click on it, you get to a website. And what's interesting is that program has actually ended now and is no longer on the BBC. But we still have a history, a record of this episode, including clips, including images, and it is those kind of foundations that I believe a broadcaster like the BBC needs to lay on the internet in order to ensure that it survives in the future, but also to provide the basis for amazing innovations that a connected world can offer. Thank you very much.